So check it out, guys. I got a free new hat. The only caveat was I had to spend $50 in Crush City Plastics, which is not impossible to do, especially for me. I did need to re-up on some paddle tails and some finesse stuff for bass season, and there was a couple of different options for walleye that I wanted to pick up for the river as well. So I'm going to share that all with you now. A lot of these are new-ish. I don't know if they're really new, but definitely that's something I haven't seen before. So yeah, we're gonna run through the baits and then we're going to look at rigging options. So I want to start off talking about the jerk. This is a really simple bait. It's a split tail minnow style bait. I got this in a couple colors. This here is a pearl white, and this is just basic, like a super basic bait fish imitator. This is the budgie color and a green and chartreuse. I've recently started river walleye fishing, and one way that I've seen them caught is on minnow style baits like this, just on a jig head, bouncing the bottom. So it's a technique that I don't want to miss out on for sure. And I mean, that walleye bite's kind of dying off for me now, especially that jig bite. But next spring these are gonna get used. Over the fall they're gonna get used. It's just something I want to try a bit more is bottom bouncing a minnow style bait on a jig. So 3.75 inches and super TPE, that elastomer style, Elastec style of plastic, super stretchy, super durable, floating, which is kind of neat. I think especially on the bottom, you're able to get this bait to kind of, do that a bit easier and give it that bait fish feeding look. And yeah, so here I'll show you off a little bit. Some really cool designs on these Crush City plastics, but this is really nothing special, just a split tail and a little cavity there in the bottom. So you could fish this on like a belly weighted EWG or something like that. Not something I'm really going to be doing with it, to be honest with you. I'm mainly just going to put this on like a 3/7 ounce smell head. And like I say, just let that thing fall to the bottom, give it some pops, work it back to me on the shoreline. Should be okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is definitely new. This is the 2.5-inch Mooch Minnow. So they had the 3.5-inch out for a while, and I used it a little bit. I actually liked it on the Okashir screw head. And this is a big time mid strolling bait, and I guess that's kind of what I was doing, right? It's just tossing it out there and shaking it back to me. And yeah, it's just a really cool action with that finessey little kind of paddle tail thing on there. And I think this looks really good on underspins as well. So I'm hoping this is going to be like a smallmouth magnet on the GLF underspin head. That's the main reason I purchased this size. All black. I like black colored baits. This is really standard stuff again, but just a pretty unique tail on there that gives it a pretty good action. I actually really like that. So yeah, definitely nothing special again, but that paddle tail on there is really unique and gives it a pretty good action in the water. Super finessey, and at 2.5 inch, this is gonna make a really good drop shot bait. I like baits that have multiple uses. I'm a bank fisherman. A lot of times I'm hiking into spots and doing 25, 30, 3,500 steps just to get to my spots. So packing light is key. And being able to use a bait for multiple instances is just really useful to me. Now here I have another new to me, definitely, and I think new. I don't know. There's newer colors, things like that. The Crush City release has been kind of weird. Like there's a lot of European er, exclusives, a lot of Australian exclusives, even a Canadian exclusive. So I'm not really sure what's new and what's not anymore, but definitely have not seen the suspect in the black color before. So this is in a 3.75 inch, and I also have it in a 2.75 inch. This one is going to be pretty clutch, especially on things like my smelt head. So again, like everything I've featured, very standard setup here, just a paddle tail, but it's a TPE plastic, so it's floating, very stretchy, very durable, and again, all black. I love black soft plastics. It's one of my favorite things to throw. It just always seems to get bit. And yeah, I don't know. Standard stuff. I've watched some videos of these swimming through the water. They kind of tend to have a bit of a wobble to them. That tail really spins around. And I hope it pairs well on the smelt head. That's mainly what I'm going to use it on. But otherwise, on a ball head, something like that, I just think it's a really nice finesse paddle tail that I'm excited to try. As a bonus, I'll share this again with you. The Smelthead Finesse is something I purchased at CanCast, and I really liked it. I've loved the way it works. I have the 1/16 ounce as well, which I've been using to catch a lot of crappie and panfish. So when I saw they had it at Fishing World, I made sure to just restock and get ready for some finesse smallmouth fishing. This is just a really interesting jig head, kind of like an underspin type deal. except not a regular blade. That blade on there actually just does a wobble and gives it a lot of action in the water. So there's that 2.75-inch suspect lined up on there. To be honest, not really my favorite. I'm gonna try the bigger one actually. Okay, now that is definitely more like it. So the 1/8 ounce Smelthead, a little bit smaller head. It's not zinc, it's actually lead, and it's the 1/8 ounce. So instead of 3/16, you're getting a bit smaller there. The number two hook is a lot smaller as well. And yeah, that looks really good. This is something I throw all year. I'm just so honed in on the 1/8 ounce Smelthead with a finesse paddle tail. Everything eats it, man. It is so fun to throw. So yeah, cool little smallmouth bait there. That's gonna work great. One more little finesse presentation for you. How about a little lake vacuum setup? That's the GLF underspin with the 2.5-inch Mooch Minnow there. You could probably do a 3-inch bait. I definitely prefer like a 2.75 or a 3-inch bait, but that lines up pretty good. And if you're worried about fish short striking, on the super finessey days, sizing down that plastic might be the deal breaker. So I know I mainly said I'm going to use this jerk on the full size regular Smelthead, but I think that looks pretty cool, man. It's going to line up good on that Smelthead finesse. And yeah, should get a nice wobble, get that tail moving. Gonna be lots of fun to throw all this stuff. We are like a week and a half away. I'm dying to go bass fishing. I'm dying for it. So stick around. There's gonna be lots of that. And thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me about what baits you're gonna be throwing as this post spawn hits us here.